if I had to really press you and say, explain to me what Shofu sells or does, can you give us a 1-minute descriptor of that?
Shofu Dental was founded in 1922 in Kyoto, Japan. So we're all very proud that the company is actually approaching its centennial or 100-year anniversary. And we've been known for decades as the company that makes the best quality abrasives and polishers. Many docs we see on a regular basis still have the Shofu polishing kits that they actually got from their dental school. And some of these are 20 and 30 and 40 years old. But we're more than just abrasives and polishers. We have a full line of porcelain and denture teeth for the labs, but our primary focus has been to give dentists the high quality value price restorative products to serve their patients. And proof of this is our proprietary Giomer technology, which means our beautiful brand of composites offer healthful therapeutic benefits to the patients for the life of their restorations. And we've seen numerous studies done over the years by prestigious universities and dental schools all over the world that have proven the beautiful brand of restorative products have these wonderful antibacterial qualities that reduce or eliminate the incidence of secondary decay. They neutralize the acidity in patients' mouths, and they actually even shield the restoration from potential harm, creating a protective film layer over it. And nothing else in the industry can offer this combination of healthful benefits for the patients, like our beautiful brand of composites. But it's even better than that, because these products traditionally are about...
Let me ask you this. So Shofu started 100 years ago. Has it always been in abrasives? I mean, was that its first start?
No, actually, we started on the lab side with the porcelain and denture teeth. And then it evolved into materials that allow you to work on the denture teeth. And over time, it evolved to materials that allowed you to polish the denture teeth. And then over that became the porcelain and the other lab-based products. And then we took a transition onto the clinical side, and it's been nothing but good since then.
I'm going to jump around here a little bit, and it seems like you just surprised the whole world with the Shofu camera about 2, 3, I don't know when it was, 4. I mean, all of a sudden, everybody I knew wanted a Shofu. I call it, now you've got a brand name for it, but I call it the one-hand camera, because when I would hear dentists, I mean, I would see dentists bring it to a study club, and they would show it to people, and they'd go, look, I can hold it with one hand. And they would kind of sit there like this and drink a cup of coffee, and they'd go, it's not even heavy. Tell me all about that. How did that come about? And tell me about that camera.
Well, dentistry involves photography. I mean, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but it also can be worth thousands of dollars. And the most important thing is to be able to use photography to show the patient their oral health condition so that they accept the treatment that you're proposing. But it wasn't always that easy, because single lens reflex cameras are quite sophisticated, and there's a lot of attachments necessary, auxiliary flashes, auxiliary lenses that one would need in order to take a really good picture into somebody's mouth. I mean, that is not a friendly environment for doing photography. But because we're a dental company, and because we're Japanese, and this may sound kind of funny, but the fact of the matter is, Japanese are really good at cameras. So that being said, who other than a Japanese manufacturer might you expect to take to manufacture a camera that takes perfect pictures? And that's the thing about this product. It does weigh 1 pound, but the thing that seems best about it is that it allows anyone in the practice to take a perfect picture every time. And where that becomes important is with a sophisticated DSLR camera system, usually it's only the doctor who gets to take the pictures. But the ADA says his time is worth $500 an hour when he's drilling and filling. So to have him taking the pictures takes away from production. So there needed to be an efficient way to allow someone else in the practice to be able to take pictures of a similar quality to what the doctor can take, so that he can get back to work while somebody of a much lower pay rate is able to take the pictures. And the secret to this camera is built into it. There are 9 different preset modes, and each one's for a different type of picture that somebody around the practice needs to take on a regular basis. So if they're taking a picture of somebody's smile, there's a mode for that. If they're taking a picture of somebody's face and shoulders from a distance, there's a mode for that. If they're taking a super highly magnified image, there's a mode for that. If they're want to do a video of a procedure, there's a mode for that. So that no matter what type of photograph that the doctor needs taken around the practice, it's as simple as the press of a button, and any assistant or hygienist can now take a picture with the quality as good as that the doctor would take.
So what's the name of that camera?
The camera's called the Eye Special.
And how much does that normally retail for?
The retail price of the camera is about $3,250. And depending on whether they get it at a trade show or there's a special offer, it could be as low as around $3,000.
Okay. And how much training do you find that the average dental assistant needs to be able to be proficient with that camera?
Because of the way it works, it's very intuitive and simple to use. The assistant or the hygienist who's using it simply has to press the button that corresponds to the type of picture that's being taken. And really the camera does all the work. It sets the shutter speed, the f-stop, the zoom, the flash intensity, the ISO, and any of these other technical photographic things that most people really don't know anything about.
So when I say me, I'm saying if I were assisting my doctor, I could learn the 9 settings and then hold it with basically one hand and get a great picture.
Yeah, pretty much. And training, or whatever you'd like to call training, 15, 20 minutes, a half hour in the office, is also included in the price of the camera.
That's
so
cool.
When a doctor buys one, the Shofu rep from their area comes into the office and works with all the staff members who the doctor wants to be taking pictures, and goes through whatever pictures they take on a normal basis. Some of the 9 modes aren't used necessarily very often in certain offices, and our personnel go in and more or less say, doctor, tell us the pictures you want your staff to take, and we'll show you how to take them with this camera while we're here today.
Speaking of doctors coming back, tell us how this Eye Special is going to weave into what I call post-COVID times. How is that going to help dentists?
Well, first of all, like I mentioned earlier, it's efficiency. Because with the doctor not having to take the pictures anymore, they could focus 100% of their time on production. But at the same time, this can also increase production, because people who have oral health conditions, if they're not under a painful situation, if they don't feel pain, then they don't always think it necessarily has to be treated. So if a doctor says, it looks like you're going to have a cavity back on a molar, you might as well let me take care of that now. And the patient says, but it doesn't hurt, doctor. I don't have the money to pay for that now. Can it wait? That's one thing. But if a doctor says, here, let me show you a picture that my assistant took of some early signs of decay on that molar, and if we can get it taken care of now, it would be much less expensive and less painful than if we put this treatment off to a later date. And then we have to perform a cavity restoration that's much deeper, or even a root canal if we let it go too long. So it helps the doctors also present the case in a way that it gets accepted a lot more often.
Over the long term, don't you feel like this, the Shofu Eye Special camera will become the dominant camera in the dental market?
Well, right now, it's funny to say this, but it really is the only product of its kind. There's a lot of ways you can take pictures of teeth. You know, you can use your cell phone or your iPad. And if you do that, then of course there's possible HIPAA concerns that you run up against, because these things are usually done on open networks. And if it can be hacked, then that information can potentially be taken. But these other cameras aren't really made for this purpose. And because of that, there's some things about the Eye Special that make it special, truly special. And that is, it can be wiped down between patients. So it can be disinfected where there is nothing else that can. You can't disinfect the Nikon after you took pictures of a patient, but you're going to take that Nikon out for the next patient without realizing that there's the potential of cross-contamination there. With our product, it's made to be wiped down. So especially in these times where people are afraid of germs, having something that can be disinfected between patients is vital. So it hasn't yet been mandated, but I mean, we're hoping someday that the doctors realize that it's the logical choice, and it's really not any more expensive than a fully tricked out Nikon or Olympus or camera kit.
Okay.
Again, www.shofu.com is our website address. And on there is the full variety of all the different products we have, from the abrasives and polishers, as we talked about, which are kind of our bread and butter, to the Geimer restorative products, which are our fastest growing market segment, and then the camera and even some lab products. And in addition to that, I'm sorry, Ken. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Please, go ahead.
In addition to that, there's also a page on there that has a map of the United States and Canada and the name of every representative for each territory. So if somebody's looking to have a Shofu rep visit them, they can simply find the name of their representative, give them a call, and we'd be happy to set up a time to come out and show them anything they're interested in.
Yeah, so you were telling me at the beginning of this, you guys have already started traveling and seeing people. Is that right?
Yeah, as soon as the governors or the mayors or the local authorities deemed it was safe and the doctors started opening, we were there to serve them, and we're there to serve them. I was out serving doctors today, going to clinics, going to private practices, talking to doctors about these products. We believe that the dental industry deserves service, and we don't expect the doctors to just buy our products. We have to earn that business, and we're out there doing it every day.
Is after this return to what a lot of people are calling the new normal, is this going to impact Shofu at all? Or
well, while we were away for COVID-19, we spent a good portion of that time strategizing about what we thought would be next. And what we believed the first and most important thing to the doctors was they didn't want to get sick. They didn't want their patients to get sick. They didn't want their team members to be sick. So the first couple weeks that we were out, instead of focusing on selling the products we wanted to sell, we really gave a primary focus talking about the products that we thought the doctors needed the most. And that was single patient use items that eliminate the potential for cross-contamination. And we have some composite polishers, a pack called the Super Snap, and they come in a small single patient unit pack, and it allows the doctor to polish a composite and then just throw away the polishers that he used. And we have the one gloss polishers, and again, they're packaged for single patient use so that a doctor doesn't have to worry about sterilizing them. He doesn't have to worry about the potential for cross-contamination. And this would help not only put their patients at ease, but make their staff feel a little bit more comfortable that they don't have to deal with anything potentially contaminated. So that's what we called phase one, which was to start talking about the other things. Because as our people would start to make their rounds back to these same offices after dropping off the phase one products, they were welcoming us back and asking, what else do you have? And this was our opportunity to start talking about the things we really would rather talk about, and that's these Geimer products. Because in this world right now, where everybody's afraid of germs, we're the only guys with the antibacterial composite. So it only follows that once you're not afraid of cross-contamination anymore, now you want to start doing good by people. And in addition to being able to have this antibacterial product that has healthful benefits for the patient's oral health, it's 30 to 40% less expensive than everything else. And having just spent 3 months without having any revenue, the doctors are looking to kind of get the most profit out of every production dollar that they can, and saving a little bit money on their composite sure doesn't hurt.